And, I mentioned it briefly in seasons past, and it's about the word curses and the strength of word curses. What happens when word curses goes unchecked? Like my life, for instance. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, I had word curses. The word curses can lead to death. I had, they uncorrected and, clarified. This is something that I teach. I've been teaching for years. The word curses are very important, and the only reason all this was able to happen to my life to this magnitude was word curses. You feel me? Word curses the devil sent and put against my life during the time when I could not defend myself against them. And anybody who would defend me against them were like taken out the way by the devil, prematurely. You feel me? So that's the situation. Word curses. You looking at my life right now, this is the result of word curses. They was placed on my life early before I had the chance to be able to discern them or be able to destroy them. You know what I'm saying? With come on, spiritual warfare, the biblical sense, pulling down false arguments, vain imaginations, and anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Our weapons in spiritual warfare of God are mighty in God and not carnal warfare. And so that's the thing. And one thing I've always talked about through these years, all the way back, that the word curses all the way like to 15 and 14. These word curses they lead to death, and they can destroy dreams, destroy your life, all different parts and facets of your life and everything. And anybody who been following my legacy all this time know that the battle, the only problem I ever had was the challenge that I had was and it was on purpose. When the devil sat back and studied me. Now I know that it was actually longer, since my birth longer, all the way to now. But all the way to that point, but at that time I was looking and I'm thinking the only way, the devil ever had any space to breathe was if I didn't have a clear understanding of what, the enemy was, or who the devil was using to set word curses on my life. This was already happening way back in 2013. You feel me? And I got poems, my earlier poems when I first started fighting word curses, with my art. And the word curses resulted in death. If word curses put against your life, and you don't know what they are, what the word curses are, you don't know how they got there, meaning who put them there, then that enable over time, as long as that just sit there and fester, the word curses, then before you know it, you getting attacked with carnal weapons, for reasons you don't know. I've seen this hundreds of times through the years, hundreds, and all the way to now has to be a couple thousands. It's been out of this world persecution void. This is what I know in this life, and I adjusted to it. And so all the way since, and like I say, the persecution that's been on my life, has went on, it has existed longer. My testimony outlived, these the influence and reigns and terms of these people who, these are artists that's in games are trying to use the counsel to real Elijah with. You feel me? My legacy outlived that person's time, of their prominence. You feel me? They use that person. They trying to use certain people, to throw word curses on me in my latter years, which would be these years, and use that word curse and that person to destroy my legacy. You feel me? It's one of the most elaborate ploys ever, but that's what it is, the word curses. And, it is really no safe side. You can't say that, this side say that side safe. Because, to be honest, it's been a collective effort since 1994. You know what I'm saying? Whoever can make the most money off of baby Eli, then, they can, it don't matter, Green the only thing that matters. You feel me? But you see word curses. And my only problem ever, my only challenge I ever had, as far as spiritual warfare, through which, I was forced, to illuminate darkness with my talent. And then later, you see what happened. Pretty much the devil got his behind handed to him, hundreds of times. And it was just a fact that because of what was happening to me since 94, you know what I'm saying, all the way to like my early years writing poetry, I was kind of had like a cloak or a bushel put over my light and over my lamp. And only those people that was already stalking me could see me, but the rest of the world I was hidden from by those very influential figures. You feel me? While they was watching what I was doing on the low, and then, you know, yeah. And so they was doing all this stuff to me, like, you know, from the darkness, from the shadows. So I had no idea that it was them doing it, you know, or I could not, my mind could not ascertain, you know, the true nature of what everything really was. You feel me? So I had no knowledge or understanding of how far it extended or nothing, but I knew I was under attack by the devil because the Bible told me so. So, you know, from that point on, I was just, you know, like I say, man, when I got wind of word curses and things put on my life, I clarified them, destroyed them. And so that's why it was no, you know, no cause for the, you know, cruel, bore, excessive war and attempted murder I got all year, every year, you know what I'm saying, by influential figures who also colluded with structures. You know what I mean? That's just a true reality. Like I said, man, if you got a porch covered with dirt or whatever, you sweep it off, it's going to have a surface up under there. And that ain't, I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That's the surface, you know what I mean? That's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, that's physics. You know what I mean? And so that was the way, you know, the situation that went, you know, word curses, you know, distortion, smear campaigns. You know, I was getting attacked with both of them. I learned about those things that they're fundamental stakes before I ever learned anything about, you know, gang culture activity or any of that, you know. You feel me? Like any type of that traditional societal reality, I had no knowledge for that. It had already chose me since 94. You feel me? But I never chose it. You know what I'm saying? I never adhered to it. You know, so I was forced to learn about the word curses and things like that, you know, through the Bible. And over time, I learned that it's, you know, satanic cults, smear campaign, distortion campaign. I was getting both double team bored excessively all year, you know, by you know, both of these, by, you know what I'm saying, by you know, deep, like demonic entities, you know, demon possessed influential figures with satanic cults and stuff. So I mean, it was, you know, a choice that was made for me before I had a chance to stand up. And that was a situation, you know. But word curses, you know, that was always the hardest thing for me, you know. But once I identified the source of the word curses, you know what I'm saying, it was no problem for me to slay. You know what I'm saying? It was no problem for me to, you know what I mean? Because, man, I like I said, I had to grow into these, you know what I'm saying? I had to grow into this scam that was on my life. You feel me? I didn't know none of this, you know, growing up or anything that was happening around me, you know. I had to grow into this, you know. This was like from 1994 to now. People could use their imagination to fill in all the blanks all the way to now. You feel me? But yeah, man, I had to grow into this, you know. And when I come to the realization of the situation, you know, the full extent of it, then everything is already in stone that these evil demon possessed people already did in my life, you know, early on. You know what I'm saying? And then try to destroy me for their own actions that they did already. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, they pretty much, artists sentenced me to death since my birth, literally. Artists had already sentenced me to death since my birth. When they saw the blessing of God on my life, you know what I'm saying, they felt, I don't know what it was, but they misread God horrifically. You know what I'm saying? They misread God horribly. But, you know, God is so perfect. He gave them understanding of what it was, though, you know. And that situation, word curses. And then later on, with people coming up and saying, you know, they did, you know, they had something to do with these word curses that made my life hell and resulted in, you know, more than enough demonic persecution. You know, every facet of my life being destroyed, degraded. Everything I touched been destroyed, degraded. You know, my reputation, my character, my integrity, everything been attacked. My faith been attacked. You know, my shelters, lively, everything been attacked for 8 years straight. And then, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, well, I mean, me being a regular person, you know what I'm saying, I don't have no, you know what I'm saying, I ain't have no badge, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, satanic cults, you know what I'm saying, they find ways to try to denote information to me, but it's not, you know, it's not formal, you feel me, so it doesn't count. But if anybody in the world catch on to this, you know, like, you know, people that they blame and things, I mean, I don't see why nobody wouldn't help a person being crushed. That's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm being crushed by things that I have no defenses against. by, power without, above my resources, things that I can't protect myself against for 8 years straight, actually for over 20 years straight, but it don't do no good and let me know. This is the first, I'm convinced that this is the first situation of its kind that ever happened to a person in this country. You know what I'm saying? Given the sheer magnitude of the situation, how, as much people know, even in other countries, know what's happening, it's still like these satanic cults, like they, and these demon-possessed influencers just got this unnatural obsession with my life and my downfall. And it's like, no matter what else going on, you feel me, they like glue, and that's been the situation, in spite of how much I did, I expressed my disdain of, the character and the morals and values of these types of influential figures, or these type of people. I wouldn't associate with them for obvious reasons, you feel me? And that's been the situation for the longest. I've been stalked, harassed, everywhere I go. The places end up coercing me, the places get coerced into, satanic cult with the structures, like 4 years after they were already, informed of, what's happening to a regular person for their faith. So, it ain't nothing that I can't say now that I ain't already said. The main purpose of this, though, is the word curses. Once you identify word curses, you can cast it down. You can pull it down, through the Bible. And, just Christian, just the Bible wisdom that God give you. After that, the word curses pulled down, then it's matters for the natural law of the land. You feel me? Foundations. You feel me? That's why the Bible says in Psalms, it says, what can the righteous do if the foundations are broken? Because, that's my part. I'm, responsible for keeping the truth visible. You know what I'm saying? And I've did that for a long time, but it has not slowed down the attack I've been under. Then, there's a bigger situation far above me. You know what I'm saying? And I made recordings talking about it. And I got quotes from last year, the year before that, talking about it. What can the righteous do if the foundation is broken? In this case, the foundation was broken on purpose in advance, just so, serving the God could not prosper or, spread the gospel or the light, within the country. It's facts.